All right. Hey folks, today I'm going to show you how to use a fire starter when you're outside and you got a lot of snow on the ground. It might be difficult for you to be able to start a fire on your own. Earlier today I made some fire starters ahead of time out of old dryer lint and petroleum jelly, which actually works really well. It helps to hold the flame nicely, so that way when you have wet materials like this, it helps to hold the heat and burn it up anyway. Okay, so I'm going to set it up. So it fits conveniently in a little baggie. This is what it looks like. It's sort of like a cat turd almost. But this is just dryer lint, so it's all cotton essentially, with, you know, some random fibers inside there, little bits of, you know, paper particles or hair, things like that. But all of it's flammable. It's wrapped up in petroleum jelly, so that way it can burn for longer and not just consume really quickly, because that's the idea. What you're looking for is the prolonged heat exposure. So I'm going to take a little piece of this birch bark here. As you can see, the birch bark is all covered in snow. I pulled this out of the ground, frosty. Set that up on there. All right. Try to position it a little bit better there. It's very simple. I'm using a lighter here to start it just because I'm not sure if right now the materials are too wet to be able to start it up with a striker or with any kind of, you know, ferro rod or flint or anything like that. So I'm just going to use a lighter to start it. It's a little windy out today. Try and turn it a little bit. Need the adjustments off on this bad boy. Goes up. Now it's continuous on its own. It's going to have more of a slow burn. The idea is that we'll be able to put things like this that's already sort of wet right on top. I grabbed a small selection of a little bit of pine from the area. Pine is typically drier around this time of year. You can use it pretty much anytime you need to, so even if it's covered in snow, things like that, it's not ideal obviously to have it covered in snow, but you can still use it if you need to. So this should burn on its own for a few minutes. Heats up, keeps everything, even if it's wet, keeps it going. Ooh. You can already start to feel the heat kicking off of it. So that's pretty much it. I mean, it's fairly straightforward. It'll burn on its own for probably about 10 minutes. I tested it earlier with my kids. You just got to make sure that your camera isn't directly in the way of it when it falls. But that's what we're looking at. I'll post a link with how I created these earlier in the day with my kids. All right, take it easy, folks.